Ukraine says it will be triumphant over Russia as eastern conflict grinds on Kyiv. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that Ukraine would be triumphant in its conflict with Russia, now focused on an artillery slugging match over an Ukrainian metropolis. Russian forces had been seeking to seize Severodonetsk in their develop within the east, turning it into one of the bloodiest battles thus far within the 4-month-old conflict. Neither side has secured a knockout blow in weeks of fighting that has pulverized the metropolis into rubble. Ukraine has appealed for speedier deliveries of heavy guns from the west to show the tide of the struggle with Russian forces, which it says have as a minimum 10 instances greater artillery portions than Ukrainian forces. Yet even if outgunned, Ukraine's navy has proved extra resilient than predicted in early levels of fighting. We are sincerely going to be successful in this struggle that Russia has started, Zelensky advised a conference in Singapore via video link. It is at the battlefields in Ukraine that the destiny rules of this world are being determined. After Russia became forced to scale back more sweeping marketing campaign dreams while it released its invasion on February 24, Moscow has turned to increasing control within the east, wherein pro-Russian separatists already held a swath of territory, considering the fact that 2014. The Jap region referred to as the Donbass includes the provinces of Luhansk, where Severodonetsk lies, and Donetsk. The self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic (DPR) stated a verdict on a captured South Korean mercenary being prepared, Russia's Interfax information company mentioned. The own family of one of the British warring parties sentenced to dying in a brief court docket appearance closing week said on Saturday they had been devastated and saddened at the final results of the illegal show trial, and known as for Sean Pinner to be handled as a prisoner of battle and launched or exchanged. The conflict among the neighbors, two of the world's biggest grain exporters, has reverberated well past Ukraine. If due to Russian blockades, we're unable to export our foodstuffs, that is so sorely missing in global markets, the arena will face an acute and excessive meals crisis and famine in many nations of Asia and Africa, Zelensky advised the Shangri-La Dialogue Convention in Singapore. Static fighting. The United Nations stated on Friday as much as 19 million extra human beings within the global ought to face persistent hunger inside the next year due to decreased wheat and different meals exports. Turkey has attempted to secure a deal so Ukraine can resume shipments from its Black Sea ports, which accounted for 98% of its cereal and oilseed exports before the battle. But Moscow says Kyiv have to clean the ports of mines, and Ukraine says it desires safety guarantees so it isn't left uncovered. Ukraine has again and again known as for more Western arms and nearer alignment with the West. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told Zelensky in Kyiv the EU government's opinion on making Ukraine an EU candidate would be ready next week. As Ukrainian forces use the last of their shares of Soviet-era weapon structures and munitions, they will require constant Western assist to transition to new supply chains of ammunition and key artillery systems, the Institute for the Study of War said in a file on Friday. Effective artillery can be increasingly more decisive in large part static fighting in eastern Ukraine, it said. Ukraine's Luhansk governor Serhiy Gaidai stated Russian forces controlled maximum of Severodonetsk. However, Ukraine managed the Azot chemical plant where masses of civilians are sheltering. Our forces are holding in commercial zone of Severodonetsk and are destroying the Russian army inside the town, Gaidai said at the Telegram app. The struggle for Severodonetsk and its destruction recall weeks of bombardment of the southern port metropolis of Mariupol. It turned into decreased to ruins before Russian forces took control of the city final month, with the last Ukrainian defenders surrendering from their redoubt within the Azovstal metallic plant. Moscow has denied concentrated on civilians, but each sides say they have got inflicted mass casualties on each other's forces. Has not been capable of independently confirm the battlefield reviews in the struggle. Russia calls its actions a special army operation to disarm and denazify Ukraine, whilst Kyiv and its allies call it an unprovoked war of aggression to capture territory.